If you've ever tried to build and structure a good sales team, you realize that it's very, very difficult. You see, you might have hired 3 or 4 people and you find that one person is great at generating their own leads, but they just can't seem to close any deals. There's all these great promising meetings that are happening and it's almost gonna close, but nothing actually seems to happen. Then another person might close deals when they get them, but they just can't seem to bring their meetings in, and it's just, so they're not getting you the consistent results you need. Another person might seem to be doing great on all activities, but again, it's just they can't quite get the results that you're looking for. And the big difficulty with this is that sometimes the structure itself is incorrect. You don't have it structured right. And so 1, it's hard to find people to fill the right roles, and 2, it's hard to keep anybody accountable. And whatever problems you've dealt with building and structuring a sales team, I guarantee I've sat down with 30 other companies that are dealing with the same thing. It's actually good news for you. Why is that good news for you? It's because whatever struggles or problems you're dealing with, it's not out there, it's not external, it's inside your company, and that means that it's problems that you can fix and you can make better, and you can actually build and structure a sales team that works highly efficiently, it works with predictability, and it works every single time. In fact, what we do at Pima is companies hire us to get their sales team appointments, to set up warm-up sales automation, and to work with their sales team to make sure that they're closing deals. And so if you want to consistently bring in new business and have this kind of growth, as opposed to this, that's what you need. Is you need to have a good sales structure so you can create predictability within your agency. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to structure your sales team so you can maximize deal flow. And I'm also gonna share with you pitfalls that you can avoid so you don't spend the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, or indefinitely trying to figure this thing out. You have to realize most companies will not figure out the whole sales structure and sales team part. But if you can get that part in place, you can grow like this with predictability, with profitability, and at scale versus the up and down that most businesses will struggle with most of their lives. Also, make sure to stay to the end because I'm going to give you a bonus training that's going to show you how to flood your sales reps' calendars with good meetings so that you guys can grow once you have this good sales structure in place. But before we do that, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button so you get notified every time we drop a new video, because my mission is to help you sell more and scale more. First of all, you must be married to Sam. Who's Sam and why should I be married to him? Well, Sam is sales and marketing. Your company itself should be married to sales and marketing. You see, what most people do is they go out and they try to find the best product and the best service, and then they perfect it, and then they treat sales and marketing as an afterthought. But all great companies actually see sales and marketing as the forefront, and then the product becomes a fulfillment of that. Let me say that again. Great companies are obsessed about their sales and marketing and how they're going to solve the customer's problem as the primary thing, how they're going to get to customers. And then the product becomes the part that fulfills the promise that your SAM, your sales and marketing, makes. And it's what separates great businesses from struggling businesses, 100%. And at the end of the day, it's not the best product that wins, it's the best known product that wins. In fact, I have a client, he's got a lot of sales reps. He's doing about $1 million a day in business. And he has a good product. He doesn't have the best product in the market, he has a good product. But he's got one of the best sales and marketing teams in his industry, and that's what's allowed him to grow so well. Again, it's not the best product that wins, it's the best known product that wins. So put Sam as your primary focus, and then make sure your product itself delivers or over delivers on that promise. So how do you structure your sales team in a way that meets you where you're at right now? Whether you're 1 or 2 sales reps, or whether you have 500 sales reps. How do you build that structure to really help you reach your sales and marketing goals? Step 1 is that you have to lay out your entire sales and marketing sales process from beginning to end, all the way from cold prospect to once they're warmed up, to the first call, to the second call, to the follow. You have to have your entire cycle laid out from very beginning to the very end. So the first part in your SAM cycle, in your sales and marketing cycle, is cold lead. These are people that are not aware of you. They know that they need your service, but they would benefit from what you have to offer. So this is gonna be people you're cold calling to. This could be LinkedIn outreach. This could be Facebook ads that you're running. This could be any kind of ads where you're putting your attention in front of somebody who doesn't know they need your service, but you know that they could benefit from it. Now, you should not have your closers, your high-level closers, going out and prospecting, because the goal of prospecting is to take a cold lead and turn it into a warm lead that would then be passed to the closer. So the goal here in this part of your SAM cycle is to take a cold lead that could benefit from your service but doesn't know you, doesn't even know that they need what you have to offer, and turn them into a warm lead, turn them into a, hey, this is interesting, hey, I could benefit from this, let me hear more. And that moves us into the next part. The next step in the cycle is the warm lead, the warm prospect. These people now know who you are, they're interested in what you have, but they're not getting on the phone with credit card in hand, right? They're not getting on the phone ready to buy. These need to be closed. These people need to be sold, because if they're not sold, they're gonna go somewhere else and do something with their money somewhere else. Maybe not even a competitor. It could be the car that they want to pay off, or the boat that they want to get, or the trip they want to take. These people are warm, they need what you have, they know who you are, and they're interested to talk to you. This could be your email list. This could be the cold leads that were generated from LinkedIn, or the cold calls that were turned into appointments, or the Facebook ad that got an appointment. This is somebody that is now interested. They are interested in what you have, and they're interested in learning more about it. Now, you can have two options here. You can have your closers take these first meetings and then focus on getting those deals closed, turning them into actual clients. There's another option that you have here as well, where you could have somebody that's in between your lead generator, whether you're doing that in-house or outsourcing it, and somebody that is in between your closer, that they're doing like a one call where they're doing a quick consultation, they're getting some stuff, they're kind of getting this person warmed up, and then they would set up a follow-up call that would be with the actual closer that now brings them in and closes them. So you have to determine that part of the structure yourself, but remember, we've got the cold prospect that you should have your marketing team or be outsourcing to get the cold prospects to be warm and booked. Now you've got the warm prospects. You have two options. You can either boom, handle that to your closer and your closer does the whole thing, or you can hand that to a person that goes before your closer where they do a consultation call and then they set up a closing call with the closer. That's how you can do the second part. Now, moving into the hot prospect, which is where you really want to get them to, is you want to get them red hot, ready to buy. This can actually happen all in one call, but it can also happen in an entire cycle. So you have to understand, is your product something that it can go from a warm prospect to a hot prospect to a customer with inside that call? It might be in some cases, and in some cases it might be longer. So let's go into the next part of the sales process. So the third one is the hot prospect. These are people that they may not be getting on the phone with a credit card in hand, but if you have a decent closer on there, they're gonna sign up, right? And so these are the great ones. These people may have been following you on social media for a long time, or they've been following your company. This could be a referral. Think about referrals that are already they like you, they trust you, they know what you have, they need what you have. And as long as you don't mess it up, they're probably gonna turn into a customer. These are hot prospects. These hot prospects should be given to your best closers. You don't want these ones being messed around with. You just need a guarantee that these are gonna close and that these are gonna be closed well. In fact, on top of that, your best closers, if they're already closing lots of deals, they should be rewarded with the best ones. You shouldn't give them all the shitty hard ones. You should be making the rest of your team prove themselves before they can get the great hot leads. Now, of course, you could make your SAM cycle way more complex than this for no reason at all. There's plenty of people out there that love to make things super detailed and complicated, but the reality is a great sales team, you need to make this as easy and simple as possible for them to be successful. Your goal as an organization is to make every role in your company as easy for that person to win as possible. And the more you complicate this sales process, the more you'll complicate mastering it for your salespeople, which means the more training you'll need for them and all of that. So keep this simple: cold, warm, hot. Who's doing what job? Your marketing team's doing the cold. Maybe your closer's doing the warm. Maybe you have a consultant doing the warm, and then you have the closer always on that hot prospect final call to bring in the deals. Now, if we kind of think in more detail on who to hire for each role, this is gonna be a very, very critical part that you gotta make sure you get right. Because if you just hire one person and they're supposed to do the prospecting, all of it, and they're supposed to warm up the leads, and they're supposed to close them, and you have one person you have to do a lot of training with, right? So if you can at least, at minimum, have your appointment setting outsourced, or have your marketing team doing all the appointment setting, and then at least have one person that the only job is to take those sales calls and do the follow-ups, then you're in a good place. Now, obviously, if you have a longer sales cycle or a different type of product, you can add more people into that. But ideally, what you want to have is specialists, people that specialize in getting the appointments, people that specialize in closing the appointment. If you can have those separated, you're going to have a lot less training for both people, and you're gonna have people that are good at one and not the other. That's good, because you might find somebody like a general salesperson that is great at getting his appointments, but he just is not a closer. Like he can't bring it across the finish line. Or you might have somebody they're a great closer, but they hate prospecting, they hate doing the cold calling. Why not make it easier for each person and put them into their individual roles so that each person can be successful, your training is less, and you can get the right people in the right seats. Look, and whether you need 100 meetings a month for your sales team or you need 1,000, I have a free training that I want to give to you, whether you're outsourcing it or doing it in-house. This is going to show you step by step on how to make sure that your team is getting the meetings that they need so that they're growing consistently month over month, year over year. Before I do that, make sure to like and subscribe and click that bell so every time I drop a new video, you're the first to know. And ask me any questions you have in the comments. I'm going to answer all questions that are down there. If you need help, my mission is to help you sell more and scale more. That's it. So if you stay to the end for that free training, it is right below. Click that, get your free access right now. It's really gonna help you get the meetings that you need to close. Again, this is Tim Dodd with the Tim Dodd Show, and I'll talk to you soon.